We're here today at the iconic Sydney Opera House, celebrating our 150th birthday as GN, and we look forward to continuing to work with you and making life sound better for 150 more years and beyond.
I want to take this opportunity to, of course, welcome all of you. It's great to see this turnout. I know we have busy lives, so we really appreciate you spending the afternoon with us for this very, very important day for us in the company. We are celebrating this company turning 150 years old. So today, GN has two legs, basically. We have GN Hearing, where I'm the manager director, and we got GN Audio. For GN Hearing, we got products such as Resound, Belton, and Intertone. On the GN Audio side, we have great products such as Jabra, Blue Parrot. Around the globe, we're about 6,000 employees, so I think it's fair to say that we are not a big company, we're not a small company, which I also think is a big part of the success that we have had in this company in turning innovation to reality, because we have that entrepreneurial spirit. But I want to welcome from both sides, on the GN Hearing side and the GN Audio side, all customers and all colleagues. Very, very welcome and happy to see you here. And of course, I would like to extend an extra welcome to Mr. Ambassador Tom Nøring for being here with us. We appreciate that very much. And also for the Danish Trade Council for helping us with this event. So thank you for that. Now, it's always dangerous to give me the mic. I will be brief, but I couldn't help myself to look up some information around this very iconic building. It's probably one of the most well-known, or it is one of the most well-known buildings in the world, and one of my favorite buildings. And of course, there is a connection to Denmark. We are a Danish company, and this building, as most or probably all of you know, was designed by a gentleman called Jørgen Utzon, who is a Danish guy. What you may not know, sorry, Mr. Ambassador, is that I'm from Sweden, and the tiles, yeah, exactly. The tiles on this building, there are about 1 million of them, and they actually come from Sweden, a place called Höganäs, which is very close where I grew up, so I got to put that in there. What you may or may not know is that the estimated cost of this building was 7 million. The actual cost was 104 million. And it was actually mostly funded by the state lottery. The estimated time to build this building was 4 years, but it actually took 14. And it was over 10,000 construction workers involved. Every year, there's about 11 million people visiting this building. What I found interesting was also that when the symphony plays, the orchestra plays, it has to be 22.5 degrees, or the instruments get out of tune. And the building already when it was built was quite innovative, right? They're using the seawater, bring it in to cool and heat this building. There's actually pipes that are 35 kilometers long laying in this building. But, you know, we're not here to talk about the Opera House, even if, as you can see, I like that. We're here to celebrate a very special day for us, or a momentum achievement. 150 years this company has been around. That's, if we put that in reflection, there's not many companies in the world that can say that. That actually means, if you think about it, we've been through revolutions, we've been through 2 world wars, we've been through multiple innovations, technology advances, and we're still here. And I think that tells a lot about the company and about the people in the company, and of course also for all of you, the customers that we work with. So there is actually a whole book about the history, and you can see how thick it is. So I struggled a little bit when I was going to talk about certain innovations. So I picked some that interest me. I think it's fair you have to start with 1869, which is when the company was founded by Carl Frederick Tegen, and he had a clear vision of a more connected world. Already in 1871, GN laid the groundwork for what's called the first internet of the world. It was connecting Europe via telegraphic line to China. So what used to take 6 to 8 weeks by boat, sending a letter, now could be a message within minutes. So already there, I think this company made great advancement for the way we communicate. Then, picking a couple of other things, there was a lot of things happening, of course, but in 1948, it was our first hearing aid. That was when the first hearing aid was made. In 1949 was when the first GN developed the first car radio. And this car radio was, at the time, looked upon as it was concise and easy to use. That car radio weighed 29 kilos. But that was what it was back then. And in 1960s, and also not so known maybe, GN developed the first mobile phone. And that mobile phone can be seen in some iconic pictures as well. We all know John Lennon, and he had a Rolls-Royce. And there are pictures when he's sitting with the phone in that car. That's actually a phone special ordered from GN who developed that first model. Then I think from the GN hearing side, very important, in 1992, GN developed the first digital hearing aid. In 1996, it was the first software-based digital hearing aid. We can go on, but a couple of other things. 2010, the world's first 2.4 gigahertz technology was established by the company. 2014, the world's first made for iPhone. Now we are having, Google streaming available from this year and so on. So there are lots of innovation throughout the years that we're very proud of. So how is that possible? I think it's worth reflecting a little bit about what makes us, wake up in the morning and go to work and enjoy this company. The positioning of the company is quite important. So I talked a little about, we have GN hearing and we have GN audio. So GN audio is quite an important part of what we do. It's always around sound, but from that part we have two legs. We have the consumer leg where we have earbuds that can measure your pulse, etc. We have the business leg, which is building conference solutions and so on. Those two insights is quite important. And then on the GN hearing side, the third leg, we have the medical part of the business. So this, I think, puts us in a very unique position for a couple of reasons. One, I think we all can agree that our industry is moving very fast. It talks about hearables, wearables. We have discussions in US going on over the counter. But we, as a company, is very well positioned because we have these two different legs. So that's important. The second thing that is very important is that we is the only, and now I'm talking GN Hearing, we are the only manufacturer that is independent. What does that mean? Well, we are not going to buy retail. We very early on went out to say we're not going to buy retail, we are a manufacturer, we are an innovator. That's important for two reasons. One, it's important for all of you or our customers because it means that we will never open a store next door to you and compete against you. That's not what we do. Two, our whole business approach is about partnership, and partnership, first of all, with all of you. We want to even dig deeper into those partnerships and find ways to even develop them further. We got big partnerships with Apple, with Google, with Cochlear, Autometrics, to mention a few, and the list goes on. But that's what we do. And for me, that's the driver waking up, because you can put it very simply. I know if our customer wins, our company wins. And that's not necessarily true for all the players in our industry. And that's very important for us that works at GN. I also want to talk a little bit about the future. I think that we all know the future is changing. How we use technology is changing rapidly. We have an aging population. We have a growing population. We have a middle class that is growing quite rapidly. And people live longer, people work longer. All of this will impact what we do. both on GN audio and GN hearing. If we put it in perspective, in this year, 2019, globally there's 466 million people suffering from hearing loss. We take a step back and we think, what will that look like in 2050? There will be over 900 million people at this time suffering from a hearing loss. So whatever we've done up to this point, it's important, but I think we also got to realize we have to change our strategy going forward. I want to come back to that in a short while, the 900 million people. What we do take a lot of pride in is being customer-centric as a company, and just looking at it from a very high level. Like in 2018, our company helped just in Australia and New Zealand over 150,000 people to have a better quality of life last year. And that's something we take pride in. That's something that is very, very important to us. But, being brief, the last thing I want to mention again is if our future already in near future will be over 900 million people suffering from hearing loss globally. We have work to be done. We cannot continue to do things the way we have done it. This is my subjective opinion, of course, but I think many of you will agree. Before joining this company and medical device, I work in the pharmaceutical industry. And I think two things for these industries that they have in common up to now is it's very much been focused on finding the solution, finding the cure. And that's, of course, important. But I also think there is an element missing that is called prevention. And I think that's what I want to leave with us, that we have a job to do to make sure people understand and are aware of what it means to have a hearing loss. I think people need to understand, and especially many stakeholders that are decision makers, that the cost to society is enormous. And one thing is absolutely sure, if 900 million people will suffer in near future, our health budgets will not cope with that kind of pressure. So we have to do things differently. And I think that's one thing that GN, and makes me proud of working with GN, that we are very committed to via our values, listen, challenge, and transform. We're going to continue to work to reduce stigma. There is a huge unmet need still. There's way too much stigma. We're going to increase awareness. And I would like all of us to work towards that, to make sure we improve the lives of people with hearing loss. But lastly, I want to, of course, say once again, thank you very, very much for taking your time to be here for this celebration. It's a very important day for us, and we really appreciate you sharing it with us. I will now show a short video that also summarizes the history in a little bit more detail. Thank you for your attention.
At the stock exchange in Copenhagen, Carl Frederik Tietgen has his office. C.F. Tietgen is 40 years old and a man with exceptionally big visions when he establishes the Great Northern Telegraph Company, or just GN for Great Northern, in 1869. He sets out on a journey that extends into present-day GN, a company built on bold decisions and innovative connections. Tietgen is currently the managing director of Denmark's first and largest bank, Privatbanken. And he dreams of turning Denmark into a prominent player in the telegraph industry by being the first to connect the West and East. At the same time, the children of King Christian IX of Denmark are being married into dominant royal houses. Among them, his daughter Princess Dagmar, who is married to the heir of the Russian Empire, Alexander. Tietgen immediately sees the potential of the alliance and persuades the king to get her support for a Trans-Siberian telegraph line to East Asia. With Tidgen's determination, he succeeds in striking a deal with the mighty Tsar Alexander II. An agreement giving GN exclusive rights to set up and operate telegraph lines in Russia. It's a huge project and extremely risky. GN begins laying cables in distant waters that have never been measured and hauling cables onto shores where conditions are unknown. Maneuvering the heavy cables in dangerous conditions requires courage and perseverance. But by the end of 1870, the first submarine cable is successfully landed in Hong Kong. And it doesn't take long before Tidgen's ambition becomes a reality, and the first telegraphic connection between China and the rest of the world is born. Unfortunately, there is no existing telegraph code for Chinese characters, and this presents a big challenge. Therefore, Tidgen enlists the help of Danish scientist Hans Schellerup. He develops a groundbreaking system that converts Chinese characters into 4-digit numbers ready for telegraph coding. With this momentous step, Tidgen achieves his goal, and GN opens up new lines of communication with the world. The world's first internet is a reality, laying the foundation for new possibilities in connecting international trade and for bringing people closer together. This ambition lives on as GN continues to transform communication. Today, GN is still cracking codes, forging unique paths and connecting people in new and innovative ways.
With that, it's my great pleasure to give the word to Mr. Ambassador Tom Noring. Thank you for being here.
Thank you very much, Andreas. Ladies and gentlemen, it definitely is a great honor and pleasure to be here this afternoon. It's a wonderful event, already is. It's not often that we do get a chance to celebrate our 150 years anniversary, as Andreas just mentioned. So we really should celebrate. We just heard a very nice presentation of the very impressive history and achievements of GN, and thank you for that, Andreas. I personally learned a lot, so that was useful. I hope now that you all, having had that beautiful presentation and a nice video, will also have the patience to listen to me for a few minutes, an old ambassador babbling. This would be my humble take on how GN has had an impact on the Australian market and indeed on the rest of the world. To me, GN encapsulates the footprint that Denmark wants to leave on the global market. The strength of the Danish market lies in the fact, in very general terms, I'm not just talking about GN, that we do not merely design and produce customer goods or consumer goods. We design products that, in one way or the other, affect the lives of people on an everyday basis. Products that center around people, products that bring people together, products that ultimately change the lives and drive the world toward being just a little more comfortable and a little better. Now, I noted that your slogan here is, "Today we celebrate GN 150 years of making life sound better." And if I may just steal that for Danish industry in general, to say that what we've been doing for a number of years is really trying to innovate and develop something, products that makes life better. And of course, this definitely holds true for the products of both GN Hearing, as we heard, and GN Audio. On the one hand, ReSound's deep audiological insight and understanding of hearing aid users, resulting in innovative hearing solutions, combined with original thinking and cutting-edge design. On the other hand, Jabra and its technologically advanced headsets and speakerphone solutions based on unique sound capabilities. Products such as these add value. I think that's important. It's not just being out there, but it's being out there adding value beyond just being material goods. The strength of the Danish market also lies in what we could call the entrepreneurial spirit of Danish companies, such as GN. The constant drive for innovation and always being among the pioneers within the market for such things as sustainable energy or advanced technology in general. As we already heard, GN excels within its industry, exactly because the company's innovative mindset, I mean, that's what you were talking about, I think, and its ability to adapt to an ever-changing world. Now, maybe at this point, I'll state one of the most maybe beloved traits of Denmark, Danish design in itself, especially considering where we are, and you already talked about that, Andreas. The Sydney Opera House by the Danish architect Jørgen Utzon. I think it would be close to blasphemy not to comment on the ability of companies such as GN to always strike the right balance between high technology or high-end technology, functionality, and aesthetically pleasing design. Being rooted in a country where it rains probably 2/3 of the year, and you Australians wouldn't understand that at all. It's hardly a surprise that to anyone that we search for beauty in any way we can, and that's also very evident in Danish design, I think. Made in Denmark is associated with timeless design and overall high-quality products. That is the footprint we want to leave. And I dare say we already have left in many ways on the Australian market and across the globe. And this is, how do I put it? This is due to efforts of global companies such as GN. Of course, it's not all sunshine and happiness or great design and beauty. There are challenges and there are opportunities still ahead. The ongoing globalization means that new issues arise and that markets are transforming ever faster. Especially given the history of GN as a company, I'm fairly certain that GN already considers this and considers it as a welcome challenge and an opportunity rather than a limiting factor. I'm confident that GN will contribute to provide solutions for the future and will continue to be part of the backbone of the Danish-Australian market, representing Denmark in the rest of the world as well. Yes, as was said a few times, GN has been around for 150 years and will most probably, surely, be around for another 150 years. I mean, I could add that a company with a history dating back 150 years is not what you're used to here in Australia. Great credibility comes with experience like that. Our friends here from GN should take great pride in representing a company with such rich heritage and such important impact on the everyday lives of citizens around the world, and of course here in Australia. I wish on this birthday, I guess, that your employees and everyone else here tonight will have all the best for your future. And just so you know, Andreas, you and I won't be around, but I already booked my successor for the 300-year GN event here in Sydney. Thank you all for listening, and thank you for coming.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ambassador. As we've said, we are a Danish-Australian company. We've been in Australia for very many years, as well as New Zealand. We work very closely with our counterparts in Denmark. Unfortunately, due to global international events, we couldn't have a representative here today from Copenhagen, but we do have our Senior Vice President, Mr. Bjorn Strombo Petersen, who sent a message specifically for our colleagues and friends in Australia and New Zealand, so would like to play that short video. So,
Mr. Ambassador, dear customers and friends and colleagues across Australia and New Zealand, kia ora, good day. I'm very happy to be here and make a short address to the 150-year anniversary celebration in Australia and New Zealand. At GN, there are three main reasons why we get up in the morning. First of all, we love to help people around the world to hear better and improve life through hearing and sound. It is about hearing aid users connecting to their loved ones, being able to engage in social activities and simply hear better through their hearing aids. It's about professional users of our Jabra products in call centers, in office situations, where they throughout the day have a comfortable and efficient day talking and listening to customers and people. And then thirdly, it's also about the leisure side of our Jabra products. When you do your exercise, you are able to listen to music or your latest podcast. So basically it is for us, we love to help people to hear better and to engage through sound and hearing. The second reason why we get up every morning and are engaged is because we love to work with you, our valued customers. We stay firm on our strategy. We are not buying retail. We want to be your partner, not your competitor. And we train our people in order to be better at understanding your business, because our overall goal is to help you to improve your business for the future. The third and the last reason why we love to get up in the morning is because we love to do innovations. Over the last 150 years, GN have brought hundreds of innovations to markets. We stay firm on that. We will bring additional innovations, new innovations to the markets. Les Quattro and Beltone Amaze are great products, but stay tuned, more to come. So being around for 150 years is not that common for a company. We are very proud of our history. We are very proud of the legacy we bring with us. Our strategy is firm. We will continue to invest in innovations. Over the last many years, we have invested 5 to 10% of our revenue back in development of new products. We stay firm on that and will continue to do that in the future. So rest assured that the long-term commitment in GN for you as our partner is firmer than ever. So with that, I want to thank you for celebrating with us and I wish you a fantastic event in Sydney and in Auckland. Thank you.
Thank you, Bjorn. So you've heard a lot about innovation, you've heard a lot about technology advancements that we've made and a lot of world firsts in making a difference for people with hearing loss or just people in the professional or consumer space, depending if we're talking about GN hearing or GN audio. If you're anything like me, one of the reasons that drives us and why we work in this industry is because we want to make a difference, we want to help people. The reason why we come in every day and the reason why we drive for innovation and for technology advancement is the people who wear our devices. So I'd like to ask Graham, an end user who wears a ReSound Lynx Quattro device, to speak about his experience and how GN has helped make his life sound better. Graham?
Hi, my name's Graham. I'm wearing the Quattro 9s at the moment. I've just got a few key points. These devices, their clarity within a noisy environment have helped me immensely, even when I was just up the back there and there were a lot of people here. I was able to, my wife sort of said to me, how are you hearing? And I was able to sort of hear her say things while everyone else was talking. It was quite, I didn't realise that at one stage a couple of years ago about how unsociable I was. I'd go to a restaurant and I'd sort of sit down for the hour and a half, and all of 15 minutes of that I was on Facebook because I just didn't hear people. It wasn't until my family brought it up saying, well, why are you on your Facebook when we're out at dinner? And why are you sort of only talking to us when you're eating? Well, it was simply I couldn't catch up on the conversations. Ever since I've been wearing these ones, the first time I actually started wearing them was about 6 months ago. I was in the car and we're on our way to Ballina for a funeral, and it was about 3 hours into it, and my wife said to me, have you been following what the kids have been saying? And I said, yeah, I have actually, everything's been great. And she said, well, I think that's the hearing aids that are helping you. And one of my kids is 9 years of age. His name's Declan, and he talks very soft, he mumbles a little bit, and I'd had the program on, the outdoors program on with the noise filter, and I was able to hear him so often, and I've actually renamed that my Declan program. It's just something that I get to follow my family, and even as a clinician myself, it's great to be able to show the clients exactly what's happening, and since they know that I'm wearing them, it gives them a lot more confidence. The app, I can't go on enough about the app. Be able to change the programs, the volume of it, put the other little filters and so forth on it is great. Everyone likes the remote assistance. One of the things that I personally like is if I'm out on the road or whatever and I can't sort of hook them up to a computer, I go through the app and I send my wife a picture saying, well, this is where I'm at. Can you fix me up, please? It takes her about 10 minutes and I get the install and I'm able to do it, and it's a lot better. And there are certain situations where, such as if everyone's here talking right now, I wouldn't be able to remember half the stuff, probably being an older male, and I'm actually able to go through it on the spot rather than have to wait, as an end user, have to wait a week or two to get into a clinic. You know all about this straight away and you can send it off to your clinician. One of the other things I quite like is I like having the window down in the car. I don't know about you guys, but with a lot of other models that I've tried with other manufacturers, the wind management side of things isn't as good as these ones. I can have the window down and I can hear the wind very naturally. It's not like the wind going into a microphone and then just blocking out a whole heap of noise and giving you like your white noise, so to speak. I can't tell the difference with them in or out as to the wind noise. Last of all, the feedback. The feedback manager. It's awesome. Other manufacturers might say you don't need to do anything. Others say, yeah, you run this and so forth. But ever since I've had these ones, I've never actually had any feedback whatsoever. and it's an amazing thing. Although I have to say, every month, 6 weeks, I do just recalibrate. It's a very simple process, as you all probably know. Takes all of 10 seconds, and and it's brilliant. So these have changed my life socially awesome. My family have said that I'm actually a better person. My kids think that I'm a better father. That's probably because I get to yell at them more now, because I can hear what they're saying about me. But yeah, they're awesome. For any of you clients that are sort of wondering sort of thing, I'd just simply say, there's a heap of styles, there's a heap of colours, there's a heap of variety. Give them all the options and let them make the choice, and tell them to take a leap of faith and go for it. Yep. Thank you.
Thank you, Graham. Like I said, it's all about people like Graham and the people that use our products that drives us to continue to challenge ourselves, to transform the innovations and the partnerships that we seek, like Cochlear, like Odometrics, like Google, like Apple, to make those technology innovations where you could be playing with your phone or adjusting your hearing aids, working really hard to take that stigma away and get people more aware of hearing and more able to take action. So with that, this ends the formal proceedings. I'd like to say a huge thank you to each and every one of you in the room. Thank you for supporting GN. On behalf of GN Audio and GN Hearing, on behalf of the Danish Embassy, thank you very much for your support, and we hope you have an enjoyable evening. Thank you very much.
Hearing loss is a major problem. We have about globally 466 million people suffering from hearing loss. And we're very proud that if we just look at last year, 2018, we impacted over 150,000 lives across Australia and New Zealand and helped them to improve and live a better quality life. GN play a very important role going forward. All the changes happening in demographic and us living longer, we're going to have to start looking at things differently. Up to now, our industry has been very focused on the solution and the cure. I think that we need to move more towards the prevention. So what GN will focus very much via living our values, listen, challenge and transform, is to make sure that we raise awareness of the cost to society if we don't do something. We reduce the stigma that's still in this surrounding hearing loss, and we make sure that people get the quality of life and help that they need.
I'm always proud to come here to Sydney and to be at the Opera House on a day like this, where we're also celebrating a company that has not just a few years on its back, but actually has almost as many years on its back as this country. It makes me immensely proud. It's always nice to tell the good story, and with GN, we have a good story to tell, and it makes my life so easy to be ambassador in Australia because I get to tell that story.
One thing that makes me very excited to work for GN is that we have a clear strategy of not owning retail. We will not vertically integrate, and that's not the case for our competitors. I think this is important for a couple of reasons. One, it means that we will never compete against our customers. Two, our whole business approach is built on partnership. We partner with our customers. We have big partnerships like with Apple, Cochlear, Google, to mention a few. But what makes me excited about this strategy, it's simple. Basically, if our customer wins, we win.
We need to work hard on finding new ideas. We need to be very innovative, very creative, and we need to be that in cooperation and collaboration, and not inside a bubble. If we isolate ourselves, we're lost.
Now I've been wearing a set of ReSound Quattro 9s that have helped me out so much, particularly in the car. They allow me to hear my family whilst they don't have to scream and yell. We went to Hogsbreath the other night and I was actually able to follow everyone at the table and not sit on Facebook trying to look busy and unsociable and so forth, which was a great thing for me. I tell you, definitely go and see a hearing care professional, have your assessment done, find out what options there are. There's something to suit everyone with a hearing loss. There's just nothing better on the earth.